Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Haiti. Haiti's government on Thursday said it would extend the state of emergency around Port-au-Prince for another month as gang violence that has threatened to bring down the government and led thousands to flee their homes appear to show no sign of abating. The UN Humanitarian Affairs Agency warned that the country's health system was nearing collapse, with shortages of staff, equipment, beds, drugs, and blood to treat patients with gunshot wounds. 24 trucks carrying vital equipment, medical supplies, and food were stuck at the capital's port, according to the UN's World Food Programme WFP, which said it had suspended its maritime transport service, citing the insecurity. Authorities first announced the state of emergency on Sunday after fighting escalated. Inmates were broken out of prisons by armed gangs, and an estimated tens of thousands were displaced while Prime Minister Ariel Henry was in Kenya seeking its leadership of an international force intended to fight the gangs. The Prime Minister has been apparently unable or unwilling to return to Port-au-Prince, where gunfire has broken out around key transport hubs, including the international airport. The state of emergency in the Quest Department, the seat of the capital, will be extended to April 3rd with a nightly curfew until March 11th, according to a declaration in the Caribbean country's official gazette. The government said this was in order to re-establish order and take appropriate measures to retake control of the situation. The state of emergency bans all public protests day and night and allows security forces to use all legal means at their disposal to enforce the curfew and apprehend those who break it, the government said. Gangs have massively expanded their influence and territory in the years since Moise's death, amassing wealth from ransom kidnappings and large arsenals of firearms that the UN has said are largely trafficked from the United States. While in Trinidad, when her killer ended 79-year-old Vasilla Richards' life, Trinidad and Tobago lost an actor who decades ago had shown on international silver screens in the late 60s and early 70s. Richards, who used the stage name Vicky Richards, was best known for her role as a supporting black actor in Black Snake, a gritty 1973 British blaxploitation film shot on location in Barbados, which focused on a man's search for his brother on an island where a whip-wielding woman kept slaves on a plantation. Other films included The Love Factor in 1969 and The One Day in Line in 1971. Richards was found dead in her bedroom at her home in Vaseline on Wednesday. Richards' relative did not want to talk about how she died, but noted that pieces of jewelry from her house were missing. Investigations continue, and Richards' body is expected to be examined on Friday at the Forensic Center to determine her cause of death. Police said that around 12:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Richards' caregiver arrived at the house and found the front door ajar. On investigation, she said she found the place ransacked with items strewn about as if someone had been searching for something. She then found Richards dead in her bedroom. The caregiver later told officers there were bruises on Richards' wrists as if she had been tied up previously. There were also bruises on her head. Now for some international news. An Antiguan man pleaded guilty on Tuesday in a U.S. federal court in Boston to his participation in a large-scale illegal gambling business. The U.S. Justice System, DOJ, said Richard Sullivan, 74, of St. John's, Antigua, pleaded guilty to operating an illegal gambling business and transmission of wagering information. The evidence presented in court showed Sullivan and his three co-conspirators, Todd Lyons, Robert Ehrman, and Daniel Ehrman, operated sports offshore, which stretched from Massachusetts to Florida. In total, Sullivan and co-conspirators collected over $22 million through an illegal gambling operation and laundered more than $10 million in checks and wire transfers. U.S. District Court Judge Patty Saris has scheduled sentencing for March 28, 2024. Sullivan is facing up to 5 years in prison and up to 3 years of supervised release and a fine of up to $250,000 for the charge of operating an illegal gambling business. The charge of transmission of wagering information carries a sentence of up to 2 years in prison and up to 1 year of supervised release and a fine of up to $250,000. I'm DACIA Richards. Thank you for watching. Until next time.